All right, good morning. So let me know if that sounds okay. It sounds okay to me. I turned up the gain a lot yesterday, so should be nice and loud for y'all. One sec. There we go. Sorry, I don't want you to hear an echo. Okay, today is day 2 of the 5-day data challenge. So hi Haps, hi Capper, hi Peter. Nice to see y'all. Electronically, I guess. And today we are going to be looking at our data by drawing a histogram. Oh, good evening from Denmark. Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Peter, for the feedback. Yeah, we had a little bit of a technical wrinkle yesterday, but I think I've gotten everything ironed out, so it should be no problems. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of data visualization with a histogram. So yesterday we read in our data, we summarized it, we got sort of an idea of what things looked like. And today we're going to do some data visualization. So those of you who aren't familiar with a histogram, I can show you what that looks like. I was going to go and look for some histograms earlier this morning, but one of them busy mornings, didn't get around to it. So a histogram looks like, hopefully, yeah, sort of like this. So the idea is, this is a lot of little ones. We're not going to do anything this fancy. You chop up the range of your numeric variable. So this does have to be something that you can represent with a number, like height or weight or distance or, I don't know, number of jelly beans eaten or something that has a numeric representation. So something you can count. It doesn't have to be something you count in whole numbers. And the idea is that you look at, let me zoom in a little bit on this one. Nope, that didn't help. Thank you, JavaScript. You're very reactive, and in this case, not especially helpful. So you can see instead of being sort of like a smooth curve, there's lots of little sort of steps in this shape. And the idea is that you look at, and this all happens automatically, we're not going to do this by hand, the range, and then you chop it up into a number of equal-sized bins. So you can see for this one, there's a bin from 0 to 1 and one from 1 to 2, or probably negative 0.5 to positive 0.5, and positive 0.5 to 1.5, and so on. And then you count how many of your observations fall within that bin, and then you plot that on the y-axis. Hi, Palinky. Hi, Aniko. Welcome. I'm glad you guys are here. One sec. Sorry, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. Hopefully you guys aren't catching too much of my drinking sounds, but I do need the coffee this morning. So it's a good way of showing the sort of general shape and distribution of your data. And this is important because tomorrow we're going to be doing some t-tests, and t-tests assume more or less a normal distribution, which is sort of like a bell curve looking distribution. And it's also, yeah, that's a good example of a normal distribution. And it's also just a good first pass to look at numeric data. So we're going to do this first in R, and then we're going to go back and do it again in Python, which, as you guys who were here yesterday may remember, I do prefer R to Python, so I think the R session is going to be a little bit more fluid. So first step is to find a good data set, and I'm going to look at the list of data sets that I put together, and some of these have numeric variables in it. So, trying to decide which of these data sets I want to work with. Anybody have any requests from this set? Oh, and I do apologize. Somebody yesterday was having a lot of trouble with this data set because it had dollar signs in it in the number field. So I'm not recommending that for beginners. It does need a little bit of cleaning. Sorry about that. Oh, it was Plunky. Excellent. And I looked at your kernel. It looked like you dealt with it real well. Sorry for the bad suggestion. Let's do this museums and aquariums and zoos one. Oh, nutrition. Yeah, for sure. Excellent, excellent. So you're ahead of the curve because you already seen the everything to do. All right, nutrition. The nutrition facts for the Starbucks menu. So this actually is a data set that I uploaded as part of my job. Ooh, I haven't seen this kernel yet. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that later. So if we look at the data, and we're gonna start a new kernel in just a bit, you can see that there's a couple of CSVs. So you want to pick the one that you're gonna work with. So this one has information on the drink menu. So you can see it's got information on a lot of different drinks. So classic espresso drink is the category, and then the beverage is a cafe mocha without whipped cream, and then the beverage preparation is with short non-fat milk. Short, I think, is the size, and then there's information like calories and fat and saturated fat. And there's also this one, which is the nutrition information for food items. And there's this one, which is nutrition information for drink items, and also has a lot of empty cells in it. So we're not going to use this one just because it has a lot of missing data. Let's do the food one, I think. I do actually want to start a new kernel. There we go. And I'm going to use a notebook again, and I'm going to give it a title that I'm going to copy and paste because I am not good at spelling challenge. I don't know why I named this, and I don't know why I was like, I'm going to name this challenge, which is a thing that is hard for me to spell. I want to start in R, so I'm going to set the language to R. That's going to take a moment to think to itself. And while it's doing that, we can check out really quick these data sets, and the one we are interested in is this one that's the menu, nutrition, and food. So this is the file path to the file that we're going to need to tell read CSV. So, sorry, I have a cord in my way. So I'm going to do these a little bit out of order. Sorry about that. We're going to do read underscore CSV to the file path that I copied and pasted from above. We're going to assign this to a variable, and let's call it food nutrition. And we talked a little bit yesterday about naming variables, and I like this thing where every new word after the first word has an uppercase letter, but that's just my personal preference for naming variables. And this function is actually from dplyr, or maybe Tibble. It's from the tidyverse library, so I do need to read this library, and that's not how you spell library. There we go. And I'm just hitting tab so that it will show me the possible ways to complete that. So now this function, which relies on this library, should work perfectly fine. And let me leave myself a couple of comments. Library we're going to use. And I'm going to want to use the ggplot library for plotting, and that's also included in tidyverse. So the reason I really like the tidyverse package is that it includes a lot of packages I use all the time, so I don't have to remember, all the whole long list of things I use a lot. Includes ggplot. All right. We're going to read in our data and save it to a variable. And I am very comment happy in my code. I like to leave myself lots of little notes when I come back and look at this later. I'll remember what I was doing. All right. That was step 1 and step 2. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to pick a column from our data frame that has a numeric variable in it, because a histogram is not going to work if you give it like a list of qualities. So if you tried to plot a histogram of hair color, it wouldn't make sense because it doesn't know, like, is blonde more than brunette? Like, is that a like meaningful comparison between the two? Another thing to watch out for with numeric variables is things like postcodes or zip codes, which in the US are numeric. So, I mean, 22963 isn't more than 28195, right? There's no like information encoded in what the zip code is. Let me know if that was confusing. Hopefully it wasn't. All right, so to pick a numeric variable, I'm actually going to have us do the summary function again, and we're going to run this whole cell. Okay, I've made an error. Let's see. Okay. Warning message, missing column names filled in, X1, warning message, duplicated column names, deduplicated. All right, let's really quickly look at this data file again and see what is up with it. And it was the menu nutrition food. So it looks like, oh, I have to do that thing where I open and then close the little drop down. All right, so it's saying that there's a duplicated column name. So there's a column named calories, there's a column named fat, there's a column named carb, fiber, protein. Interesting. It doesn't look like there should be a problem reading it in. Let's try something a little bit weird. So I'm going to, instead of read underscore CSV, I'm going to try read dot CSV. Line 1 appears to contain embedded nulls. Warning message in read table. This is an interesting. Oh, you know what it might be? So I see this invalid multi-byte string at this sort of weird character. So this looks like there might be a character encoding issue. Are there any weird characters in here? Okay, yeah, so you can see a registered trademark character. So that might be messing us up. Let's try this drink menu expanded and see if we have the same problem with that. So it may be expecting ASCII encoding, which is just sort of the base encoding, and this not being ASCII might be being represented with a comma, which is messing up how it's parsing the file. But the other one worked fine. So I'm going to go back to read underscore CSV. This Starbucks drink menu expanded. So we're just going to use that one instead of trying to fix the other one. And I will leave myself, sorry, I'm looking around for a pen, a note to fix the other one so that happens. The joys of data science. Your file won't read the in. That's the what is it? Anthony, the CEO of Kaggle, always says 80% of data science is cleaning data and the other 20% is complaining about the first 80%. Fix drink menu Starbucks. Anyway, I'll do that later today. Figure out what's up. Okay, so we need a numeric there we go. We need a numeric variable. So we're going to look at this summary. And let's see. So quite a few of these are numeric. So calories is numeric. Fat is not, which leads me to believe that there might be some missing values possibly. Or something where someone has written fat with not a number character. But that's okay. We just won't plot it. Trans fat is numeric. Saturated fat is numeric. Sodium is numeric. Let's do sodium. I think that's sort of an interesting thing. Like how much sodium does a drink have? Yep, I do a lot of data cleaning as my job. All right, I made a new cell. And folks asked yesterday, so you just click in the cell and then one below, make a new cell below, and make a new cell above. If any of you are colorblind, these buttons are blue. All right, so let's actually select out that column. So I'm going to call this sodium content. And, oh, hi, Harsh. Welcome, welcome. Yep, so far we've just read in our library, figured out the file that we originally wanted, and then summarized it. Yeah, no worries, Padma. So Padma was asking if there was any homework from yesterday's session. They're having a hard time getting the live session to work with buffering. Yeah, so hopefully there's less buffering today. I think I've nipped those problems in the bud. But no, there wasn't any homework. I'm doing the whole assignment in here. And if you want to keep working, feel free to. And I'm trying to see if I can take a look at everybody's kernels. If you've made your kernels public, so I can see what you're doing and leave some comments. Everyone's been doing amazing. I've been super, super impressed. All right. What did I call this variable? Food nutrition. Oh, except it's not food nutrition anymore. I'm just going to call it nutrition. Originally, we wanted the food column, but I was having some character encoding issues, which is the story of my life. Excellent. Hello. Tjatenver? TJ. I'm going to call you TJ. If that's wrong, just let me know. And I'm glad the video is looking good. Ordering. Yes, true. I think the menu that we're looking at now has both. So, all right. So we want just the column that has the sodium content. So, actually, no. You know what? We're not going to do this. We're just going to plot it. So we're going to use ggplot to plot this. So ggplot is a little bit different from other plotting packages that you might be familiar with. So GG stands for the grammar of graphics. And the idea is you draw a blank plot and then you add different layers. So we're going to draw a blank plot with the data nutrition. Oh, I think I need to read this again. And now that I've actually figured out which column I want, I don't need to run the summary again, so I've just commented out so it won't run again when I run that cell. There we go. ggplot nutrition. And then we need to tell it what we want the axes to be. So I am going to give it an aesthetic. And this is going to be a bit of a problem. So the reason that I'm pausing here is that you can see that we were looking at sodium, which is in milligrams, and this column name has a space in it. So let's get rid of the spaces in the column name. So to do that, I'm going to use a new library called janitor. And then we're going to, let's see, I think the function is called clean names, I think is the function. Oh, you know what? It's not going to let me do that until I actually read in the library. I'm pretty sure it's called clean names. Yeah. So clean underscore names. And then when we run this again, you'll see that a lot of these names here change. So Palinki asks, do we need to create a new notebook or can we just continue and rename the initial one? You're welcome to. At some point you may need to use a different data set because we're going to be doing histograms, which are numeric, and also chi-square and bar charts, which are categorical. Yeah, so if you have a numerical variable, you can use the same one. You're also welcome to make another one. And the data set that I'm using, Harsh, is this Starbucks nutrition facts for Starbucks menu, and the specific file that we're using is this this first one that I can't click on. Good. The Starbucks drink menu expanded.csv. And I'll make this public after I'm done with it. So it looks like it didn't actually make a change. Let's try this one more time. Okay, yeah, so you can see that it hasn't changed when it did the reading in, but it has changed later when we look at the summary. So now, instead of sodium, here we go, sodium space parenthesis mg space with a capital S, it's cleaned the names, so they're not a lot nicer. So now it's sodium underscore mg, no capitals, no weird things. Okay, so TJ's getting an error in names object. NM:names. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick little detour and we can look at that. Did you load in? You loaded in the janitor package as well, because this clean names function is not from tidyverse. It's from this other package. All right. Well, you're getting back to me. We'll continue on, and then I'll swing back around when you get a chance. So ggplot. So okay, you read in the package. NM names. All right, I'm just going to copy and paste this, and we can go on a little bit of an expedition in Googling the error message. And then we'll go back to thing. All right. Names attribute. All right, here's the same error that you're getting. So let's see. Call names. Okay, so you may have less columns than names, according to this mailing list from 2012. So it's been a while, but this is a core R thing, so I don't think it should have changed that much in the interim. Did you get this thing? Names attribute must be the same length as vector or something? Was there anything after names? And well, TJ's getting back to me. So this, sorry, I know we're bouncing around using the same data set, and you're getting the same error. Are you using this Starbucks underscore? Yeah. So try using the Starbucks drink menu expanded. Oh, okay. So the problem is, so I will copy and paste TJ's code so y'all can see what the problem is. So the problem is that clean names expects a tibble. So if you look at the way that I've done the code, I do clean names on read CSV. So these are nested. Yeah, and bad round. That's absolutely the thing. So it's expecting a tibble, and instead you've given it this stretch of text, so it's trying to look at the text and figure out what it is. Yeah, so let me actually make this a little bit clearer what I'm doing. So we're reading in the CSV, and then I'm going to use a pipe. So we're reading in the CSV, and then we are cleaning names, and then we're going to assign that to nutrition. So it's two steps sequentially, and I think it might have just been a little hard to read because they were nested. All right, glad we got that fixed. Excellent. So if I run this, I should get the same error. Yeah. So you can see that the names attribute must be the same length as the vector. All right. Plotting. So the first step is that we want to make a blank plot with nothing on it. So to do that, we need to tell the ggplot function what data we're using. So we're using the nutrition data. And we also need to tell it what to make the axes. So AES stands for aesthetic. And because we're doing a histogram, let's go back to our histogram. Histograms only have, oh no, did I lose my my nice histogram example? Oh yeah, here we go. So histograms actually only have one axis that you provide. The x-axis is some value, and then the y-axis is a count. So we only need to tell it what the x-axis is, and in this case it's going to be this sodium value. So I can just give it the name of the column. So if I plot this, I will get an output, but it will be completely blank, right? So I haven't told it how to represent the sodium. And let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole chart. It's just a blank chart that we've made. So we need to add another layer with the histogram on it. So I like to do a plus sign at the end, and then you can start a new line, and then I like to tab in. You can do 4 spaces, either are fine. And then we're going to add a specific layer, and the layer is the, so this is what we've done so far, the geom hist layer. So if we look at the documentation, you can see geom histogram. And then if we scroll down, we can see some really nice examples. So here they're doing the same things we are, but they're using the diamonds data set and then the caret example from it. So we can just do plus and then geom_histogram, and it will plot a histogram all automatically for us, and we don't have to do anything. So geom. And if you hit geom and then tab, it will show you all the different things that you can do. Some of these won't work because they expect multiple dimensions. Histogram only expects one dimension. And then we do need to add these parentheses after it because it is a function. So now we will get the same blank plot with a histogram. And this is just telling you how wide it's making these little bins. So you can see that this is not a normal distribution. I'm going to scroll out a little bit. It's a pretty skewed distribution, so most Starbucks drinks don't have any sodium in them, which is kind of nice. I guess most people probably don't like salty coffee. But some of their menu items do have, quite a bit of sodium. So this is a non-normal distribution, and we can sort of see the way that it is represented over this value. And I also want to add a title so that I know what's going on in this, and if I show somebody else this figure, they know what's going on. So I'm going to do the same thing, plus tab, and then I'm going to add GG title, and then give it a text string to print as the title, histogram of sodium content. Actually, I'm just going to call it sodium content Starbucks menu. And you can see that just gets added at the top, and we have a nice little plot. So the count of the range little bin of milligrams of sodium. I'm trying to think if I should add the word milligrams here. Well, no, it's because it's in the label that it has milligrams, so I don't think I'm going to. And let me add myself a little comment. Plot a histogram of sodium content in milligrams. Oh, just 2 L's. There's no words that have 3 L's. So let's add a little narrative cell above, so I can tell myself what I was doing today. Plotting a histogram of the sodium content of Starbucks drinks. And I'm going to say that first we're going to load in the libraries we need, read in and clean the data, and summarize it. And then after that, we are going to actually plot our histogram. All right, and that is pretty much it for R. So I'm going to publish this. So that, and that doesn't make it public. It just goes through and it compiles the notebook so that all of the code is run and it's sort of at a stable point at this point. And then I'm going to make it public so y'all can see it and fork it and work with it. And we are good on time. Can I? Oh yes, absolutely. My apologies. I zoomed out, so sorry. Badran asked if I could increase the font. I had zoomed out so y'all could see the so you can see the whole plot, because you can't really see the whole plot now. But yes, I will absolutely zoom in. Yes, sorry about that. Sorry about that. It is pretty small to read. I agree. So I'll give you guys a second to look at the code if you need to copy any of it while I take another drink of coffee. All right. How to use bins. Oh, that's a great question. So you can actually set your bins manually. So if we go back to the documentation, you can see, so this is what the, so there's a number of related, oh yes, Padma, you are free to stick to Python. I'm just doing both. So this is just for R right now, and we're about to switch over to Python instead. So when you look at the documentation, you can see in the arguments, there is a bin argument. So I can specify the number of bins. So for this particular data set, I want to go back to it. You can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kind of clusters. And I can say that I want, oh, I can't do anything if I'm not editing the notebook. So I can say that I want 9 bins. So while this is getting ready to go, Padma asks, if I'm looking for a job in data science, which is the better choice, R or Python? It depends. People use both. So generally, if you have a pipeline where you are taking data, applying some sort of machine learning to it, and then putting that into production, most people will use Python for that type of pipeline. On the other hand, if you're doing statistical analyses with data sets and sort of visualizations and a lot of dashboards or anything with networks, in that case, I say R. In my day-to-day work, I use both. I use R for statistics and visualization. I use Python for a lot of sort of data cleaning and NLP tasks. Yes. I would, personally, I started with R, and I think it was a good language to start in, but, you know, your mileage may vary. And if anyone else has thoughts on this, you're very welcome to throw them into the chat. So I'm just going to actually, I'm going to start a new cell, and then I'm going to specify bins. And then we are going to get to Python, I promise. Was it bin or bins? Bins. So let's say 9 bins. And see what that looks like, see if it looks any different. Yeah, so I think that looks a little bit better for this data. Hello! Uluwafame, yeah. Yeah, hello. Nice to see you in Twitch. All right, Python. Oh, so let me publish this real quick. The number of bins. And then we will... Oh, so, oh, I'm sorry. Bins, the B-I-N-S, let me zoom in. Yeah, so it's the number of lines that are drawn. So the number of, so if we look here, you can see that they're sort of stepping up, and each step is a different bin. So it's how many, this bar says how many points are between this value and this value, and then it goes up. So if you have, the more bins you have, the closer it's going to look to a curve. The fewer bins you have, the closer it's going to look to sort of just like a bar chart, if that makes sense. All right, Python, my favorite. I do like Python, I shouldn't. I shouldn't make fun. It's just for this type of task. For particular, I prefer R. So Harsh 1995 asks, shouldn't there be 30 lines then, since we default to 30? No, because that is the number of bins, and if there's nothing that falls between the bin, so say the bin is from 1 to 5, if all of your values are between 0 and 1 and above 6, you're not going to get anything in that particular bin, so the line won't exist. The line will be at 0. So the number of lines and number of bins will only match if you have the same distribution of your data across all the bins. So you have some data in each bin, if that makes sense. New kernel. And that's just a quality of a histogram. So you could have 100 bins and 1 line if all of your data fell within the first bin, if that makes sense. So if you have 100 data points and 100 bins, and your bins are 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and then all of your 100 observations fell between 0 and 1, you just have 1 line there. Yeah. Hopefully that was helpful. This is the type of thing that I would draw on a board if I had a board. All right, Python. So first thing we're going to do is import our libraries. So scroll back to the top. We're going to be using matplotlib.pyplot, and I'm just going to copy and paste that. And just like yesterday we did with pandas, where we imported pandas as PD, we're going to import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. And this is just sort of a thing in the Python community, that there's a standard set of things that you will alias as. So it's pretty common to use PLT to mean matplotlib.pylib, just like it's pretty common to use PD to mean pandas. So just one of those sociological things you gotta learn. Import our libraries. And then the second thing that we need to do is read in our data. And we actually do also need to import pandas, which I did not write, and hopefully nobody gets confused by, as PD. And then we need to read in our data frame. So let's do the same thing we did. So nutrition. Yeah, doesn't matter as long as I'm consistent. Equals, not little arrow, because this is Python. And then read underscore CSV. Oh, nope. It needs to be pd.readcsv. Python. And then we're going to use the CSV that actually worked for us the first time, because the other one has some formatting funkiness, and it's this one, the expanded one. So I'm just going to copy and paste. And then let's do nutrition.describe, I think. Let's see if this works. Hey, it worked. Excellent. So we can see here, so the difference between summary and describe is that describe will only show you the numeric column. So it doesn't show us, for example, well, this isn't the same thing. So it doesn't show us the column with the drink names, because that's not a number. So, well, let's see. Read in our data, and then look at only the numeric columns. And let's just use the sodium column again for our histogram. So I'm going to make a new cell. Maybe if I can click good with my mouse. There we go. Oh, thank you. So HAP says that you can use the parameter include, nope. No. Include equals true and see all the columns. Oh, include equals all. Thanks. Yeah, excellent. Thank you. That is a good tip. You know what? I'm gonna actually. No. Oh. Why is spelling like this? And I'm gonna comment out this one, but I'm gonna leave a little comment so that I can people can come back and look at that. I didn't even notice include was misspelled. This version commented will show all the columns, including non-numeric. Great tip, thank you. All right, so now we're going to do a histogram and nope, that's not it. There we go. So we can get the specific data frame that we need and then pass it to the function just hist. God, I hope this works. I did go through and do all of these, but again, I prefer R for this type of data visualization task, so I rarely do this in Python. So plot a histogram of the nutrition data set, but we only want a specific column. And the specific column that we want is the one that is sodium space, and hopefully this will autocomplete. Thank you. It's plt.histogram because histogram is actually, oh, it should be up here. Thanks, Haps. So I have called matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and I want to say that I want to look in that package for this function. That's what it's called, function. And I want to do it on the nutrition data set and just the column. No autocomplete. Sodium space mg. Nope, I've made an error. During duplicate columns and possible reduce dimensionality. Key error, sodium space mg. All right, so let's pull this out. Did I misspell sodium? S-O-D-I-U-M. I did not. Did I misspell milligram? I did not. So that's definitely where the error is. Let's do calories instead. So this is the point in the R notebook where I use the janitor package to run clean names to make the names of the columns clean. Yeah, so that works. So it's something in the name of the column that is causing problems. So, and Haps has recommended I use nutrition dot columns. Does that need to have parentheses after it? We'll find out. No, it doesn't. Excellent. Oh, there's a space in front of it? Who cleaned this data set? It was me. I did it. This is absolutely my own gosh darn fault. There we go. Thanks, Mavadran. Yep. So let's tidy this up so if someone comes along after me, they can see what I know. And Peter points out that it is case sensitive. Yeah, it is case sensitive. So is R, by the way. Both of these languages do care about case. List all the column names. Get the podium column. And then, and let's actually assign this to a variable. Let's call this sodium. How did I figure out the space in front? So I figured it out by, with Hap's recommendation, running nutrition.columns. So nutrition is the name of the data frame, and it has the attribute columns. And that, actually, let's just run this. Oh, yeah, that would give us an arrow. So that gave us a list of all of the column names. In theory, is it because I'm doing something after it? There we go. So nutrition.columns listed all of the column names, and then when I looked at it with my eyes, I noticed that there was a space in front of it, so you can also just copy and paste that. Yeah, got it. Excellent. And I'm actually going to put a print statement around this, and it's Python 3, so it's in parentheses, so that that always prints out. And now we got to plot. So I should just be able to do plot.hist of sodium. Man, I hope this works. I never do this in Python, y'all. Hey, it worked. Excellent. So let's comment what we did now that it's worked. Plot a histogram of sodium content, and let's give it a title using plot.title. And I think you just run that right after. Let's see. Fun fact about this matplotlib library is that it's based on MATLAB's plotting library, which I'm not a fan of MATLAB. It's a programming language that's used a lot in signal processing, and I've worked with it and I hate it. Let's call this, what did we call the R one? I think it was just something like sodium in Starbucks menu items. Oh, so Haps says Pandas also has a plotting API, so you could also use nutrition.hist in parentheses. You know what, I'm just going to copy and paste that so people coming back and watching this later can see. Yeah, excellent. So let's add another cell with another way of plotting. I'm so glad people here know Python. Another way of plotting a histogram from the Pandas plotting API. All right. Nice. So we sort of get the same shape and that we saw with the R plot as well. I don't know why these ones are smaller. Someone was talking about it recently and I completely forgot. Hey, Galfa. Welcome. So we have about, so is there a way to separate columns from each other by borders, Polunky asks. In Python, I'm assuming. I know how to do it in R. Oh, sorry. Y'all have to hear my coffee drinking sounds. Hap says you can pass a fig size to change the size. So that should be 12 inches by 12 inches, I'm guessing. So I'm going to add a little comment here. Fig size is an argument to make it bigger. Excellent. So we have two questions. So one is there a way to draw columns, borders around the columns, and then the other one is how to do bins in Python. So let's look at the documentation. Bins. Yes, so it's in fact the exact same argument. It is bins, and then equals and just a number. So let's actually do this in a new cell. With 9 bins. Bins equals 9. I'm pretty sure that's what we did with the other one. Yeah. Excellent. So it just, in this case, it happened to be the exact same argument. And you could use edge color equals black. Let's try that. Edge color. Actually, if I'm getting it close to right, it might autocomplete. Yeah, excellent. And a black edge around the columns. Nope, columns. Yeah. Excellent. Any other questions? Yeah, this is nice. Actually, let's make this a little bit bigger too. Because this is a little bit hard to see. And at a larger size. And we still don't have automatic comment wrapping. One day we'll have it. And let's do fig size. Let's just do 12 as well. Nope, that did not work. Oh yeah, no worries. Take your time, Peter. Oh, can we label the X and Y axis? Let's not do that. I'm just gonna, oh, we are gonna label the axes. I'm just gonna ignore. Yes, close enough. Yeah, that is a good question. So let's go here and check. Oh, no, sorry, that's a ggplot2 documentation. Let's see. I'm looking for labels. All right, label. Bar chart meals. So legend command will work. All right. Oh, excellent. We have some input from the chat. Let's see. So plot dot label, plot dot x label. Let's call this sodium in milligrams. Label the x-axis. Thank you, Oluwafemi. And then plot dot y label. In a histogram is always count. So, whoop, ran that before I wanted to. Label the y-axes. Excellent, thank you. So we can label the axes. Thank you very much for your help on that. At the very end to show the plot. I don't know what that's gonna do. Oh no, I have done a bad thing, which has made this code cell a markdown cell. Let's make it good again. There we go. Yeah, I don't think we need that here. So Peter also wanted to know if there was a way to dynamically set the bins according to the amount of data with a condition of max bins. Probably. Oh, I don't know if you guys heard that. There's a crow yelling outside. Probably. I know that's not the answer you want. I don't know of one. If anyone does, please talk to that in the chat. Oh, nice. Peter points out that you can type PLT, which is what we've aliased this matplotlib.pyplot library as, and then dot and then tab, and it will show you all of the options from that particular library. And to answer your question, TJ, so TJ just says, just curious to know how we can collect data, if there's any automation for data collection, or if we have to manually create tables and input data from external sources. If you could do a live web scraping or something, both in R and Python. Yeah, so I've done... It depends, is the answer to your question. Sometimes you can get data automatically if there is an API, application programmatic interface, for the specific data set that you're trying to get to. Unfortunately, Kaggle kernels, so what we're working in right now, are Docker environments that don't have web access. So we can't do anything that would require an external call, like an API. So we can't do that on Kaggle as it stands. Unfortunately. So yeah, at the moment, you need to do your data collection elsewhere and then upload it to Kaggle. Sorry about that. It would be nice if we could just do automatic data creation. One thing you can do is you can create a data set within a kernel now. That's a relatively new feature. So if you have you've done some analysis to a data set and you've done some transformations, you want to save it out and then do another analysis on the new version of the data set, you can do that. So I'm just going down the chat. So Hap says, for documentation, you can press Shift plus Tab in beneath the parentheses of a function.class. So if we did plot.hist, and this is relevant because somebody else wants me to make it bigger, and I tried fig size and it did not work. So Shift Tab? Nope. What if I just do tab? Oh, so just tab will work for me. Shift tab will change tabs. So let's see. And Polunky wants to know about making plot.hist bigger. So I'm just going to scroll really quick and see if there's anything. And it looks like Haps is on it as well. So you need to declare your figure first, and then call the axes, and then pass the axes to plot.hist. So that seems a little bit involved. Let me check how much time we have. We have 1 minute. So yes, I would recommend checking out the chat if you're interested in making figures bigger using plot.hist. Yeah, so any other last quick questions before we end the stream today? Oh, I need to add some narration and then make this notebook public. It worked. Excellent. Thank you. I'm glad you could get the help that you need. Read in our data. Pick a variable and plot a histogram of it. Just out of curiosity, those of you for whom Shift and Tab worked, are you on a Mac or PC or Linux or? Just curious. On PC? Okay. It does not work for me, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work for other folks. All right. Interesting. I don't know why it's not working for me then. It could be my Chrome settings. Oh, Firefox. Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, TJ, the web scraping tutorial, a little hard on Kaggle. I'll think about it. I'll see what I can come up with. Histogram. So for me, just to clarify, it did work, but I needed to, within the parentheses, instead of Shift Tab, just press Tab, and then I got the argument options. plot a histogram using matplotlib. That's possible. That's possible. So Hap says it may not have worked for me because I selected the parentheses. Click, mark down, plot a histogram using matplotlib with some extra fancy stuff. Thanks to the Twitch chat for helping out. And then this one is the pandas wrapper. Plot a histogram using the pandas wrapper of matplotlib. All right. That's all good to go, and now I'm going to publish this and then make it public so y'all can have it. And I've been posting links in the forum as well to my notebook, so if y'all are interested in looking at them, you're very welcome to. People have been doing really great work. I'd recommend like poking around in kernels, and it's a little bit difficult to search in kernels, unfortunately. So what I've been doing is just going to the kernels and then sorting by most recent, and I've been finding a lot of people's like 5-day data challenge work in there, and just sort of like seeing what people are doing and looking at people's work, and y'all are doing amazing work. I'm just deeply impressed. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna first I'm gonna make this public, and then I'm gonna call it a day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And the videos, if in case you are looking for them later and you want to look back, and also the chat is very helpful. You're very welcome, Galva. These are all saved on my Twitch stream for at least a week, and afterwards we're looking at longer term hosting so that you can get access to them further into the future. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow.